They say behind every great man there's a great woman. But I think behind every great woman that's like your wife, there has to be a great man. Because you have to be secure enough in yourself because you kind of become the afterthought. And you seem to be very, very okay with that. You guys have been together over 25 years, been together for 20 years. When you started dating her, did you see y'all here?
Absolutely not. You know what? I didn't really have much vision. Mm-hmm. People always ask me about, very similar questions, and I always say, I wasn't with her for that.
Right.
I was with Tab because of how she made me feel.
Right.
And yes, I thought she was a little crazy. I was attracted to crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. Right. So I'm with her because of my attraction to that crazy. When she would tell me, one day I'm gonna be on TV, one day, whatever, I would get tickled. Right? I would get tickled because I can look in her eyes and you really believe this.
Yeah.
Right? And it made her happy. It made her really, really happy, a happiness that I kind of, I wish that I could tap into from my own childhood. Mm-hmm. I remember feeling like what I've seen in her eyes, like saying, man, at some point in my life, I lost that. Right? You're a true believer of what you're saying.
Right.
So whatever it was, I was like, I didn't really try to believe it. I just wanted to keep her happy and say, all right, man, let's
go for it.
Let's go. As long as it's not hurting us.
Even though you might have not believed in it, you never told her that. You like, baby, that sounds like a good idea. I think you can do it.
Yep, I would. I would. And then it would be times where I'd be like, all right, Tab, wait a minute. Hold up. Like the story she told you about moving. Right? I'm always of the thinking, my thinking was, what are we currently doing? Right? Can it hurt us?
Right.
Can your vision or this dream or this thing that you believe in, can it hurt us? If we ain't currently doing anything better and what you're saying can't hurt us, let's try it.
Wow.
Let's go for it.
Right.
It's not going to hurt us. So let's put a plan together. As long as we got a plan and we got each other and ain't nothing else going on, let's go do it. Let's try it.
You guys started dating, if you could say the 8th grade is dating, in the 8th grade. When you saw him for the very first time, what did you think?
Oh, I saw him way before 8th grade. Yeah. We've known each other since about, 5th grade? Mm-hmm. And so I thought it was cute with his little curly hair and stuff. But he was mean. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, he got a little attitude.
Okay. You like, I'm going to tame it.
Yeah, but then in 8th grade, he was playing football, and I was the football manager. I had a job in 8th grade.
Man, come on. Damn.
And so when we would do the bus rides, I just would be looking at him like, the eye contact. I was like, kind of like him,
Did you know she liked you?
Yeah, I was kind of popular back then, man.
Oh, you popular? You popular?
That's
I was the man on football.
Oh, you okay? You were popping.
He was.
I was the man.
He was the man. Everybody liked Chance. Okay. He had a girlfriend though.
What? And you took him?
And I had a little boyfriend.
Okay. Now this get good. Go ahead.
But we went to a birthday party.
Y'all came separate, left together.
We came separate, and we ended up kissing at the birthday party.
What? Hold on, wait a minute. Damn.
Yeah, that's all.
Chance, come on, Chance.
Hey, she kissed me.
No, you kissed me.
Whoa. No. We get to that in a minute. I'm talking about you two came with somebody and y'all.
Because he ain't want her no way.
It didn't seem like you want him either.
The thrill was gone in those 8th grade relationships.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This was the thing.
The 8th grade dance.
8th grade.
Listen, but this is the funny thing. His girlfriend was happy he broke up because she liked somebody else too. My boyfriend was a little hurt, but
little junior high crush.
Yeah.
It wasn't that real.
But Chance, he was a man back then.
Right.
Yeah.
But I broke up with him in 8th grade.
Hold up, you kissed him. Hold up, you done made the man break up with his girlfriend.
Did me dirty.
He still
Did me dirty.
After all these years, he still hold on to that.
Yeah.
Came and disrupt my whole life.
We were together like almost all of 8th grade. But my sister, she older than me. She's 6 years older. She said, listen, you better go to 9th grade to the high school.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boys over there. You don't want a little boyfriend. So I told him, I said, listen, we got to break up because my sister says a lot of boys over at the high school. I got to see what's out there. And so he hated me for breaking up. That's why, you know, in high school, he wouldn't even speak to me. But that's how I end up, I have a stepdaughter because he had a baby in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell him, see, I'd let you go and now, see, if we had to stay together.
That's a great way to transition. I remember I read an interview where you told your mom you would never date a man, let alone marry a man with a child.
Very true.
What changed?
I was 15.
Okay.
We were at a basketball game at high school. Now remember, he couldn't stand me.
Right.
And so at the game, my mom would sit on the bleachers, and he walked up, and he was standing on the corner of the wall with his little girlfriend. They all hugged.
You did it on purpose, didn't you?
That's
You
right.
wanted to see it. You got your little kids in. Yeah, go back.
I wouldn't, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even think about her. When she told me the story
Yeah.
years later, I remember it,
Right.
but I wouldn't think about it.
And I looked, and I just kind of like rolled my eyes like, you know.
Whatever.
And my mama was like, I don't know why you doing that. I was like, what? She was like, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. She said, that little girl going to get pregnant, and they're going to have a baby. But that's your husband. I said, oh, well, you don't know me because I would never marry a man with kids. That's what I'm supposed to think at 15.
Right.
And so mama was right. She was right. On graduation day, years later on graduation day, my mama came to me and she said, go get Chance. I want y'all to have a picture with y'all's cap and gown. I'm going to use this at y'all wedding. I said, would you stop? Why would you say something weird like that?
My
is
mother-in-law
so
was my
crazy.
biggest fan.
She loved
She
Chance.
loved me. Yeah, she was my biggest fan.
And she used that picture at our wedding.
Yeah, and she was gifted too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your mom saw something that you didn't see at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You had you done broke up with me. You ain't want me, so
Yeah.
you did your thing. And here, all these years, 5th grade, so you're 5th grade, you're probably what, 11 years old, 12 years old?
Yep.
Yep.
All that time, you guys,
We're from the same hometown,
Yeah.
you know, same small city. But I would see him in high school. I would always have this like little pain in my stomach when I would see him.
Yeah.
It was like a feeling.
I always tell her it's guilt.
He said it was.
because you did me dirty.
Right, yep, you did me dirty. That's guilt. That's what that is.
But I went to college in Miami,
Right.
and he went to college in North Carolina.
Right.
And so I was there, and one night I woke up in the middle of the night, and he was the only person I could think about. And I was like just thinking about all the years that I would see him, and I had this pain in my stomach. And we had kind of became friends again in our senior year.
Right.
And I just had this thought of like, I think I'm in love with him. And so I found his number in the middle of the night. By the time I called him, it was about 3:34 in the morning. And I kept calling the room. His roommate answered. I was like, I need to speak to Chance Brown. It's an emergency. And so when he got on the phone, I was like, I know this might sound crazy. I was like, but I think I'm in love with you. I was like, so I just told him, I was like, all these years I would see you and I would have this pain in my stomach. I was like, but I'm thinking about all these different things. And if you don't think I'm crazy, call me back tomorrow at this number. He ain't say nothing on the phone. And then I hung
Chance, I
up.
thought you were crazy.
I had to stall her out a little bit.
Next day, I waited all day.
I had to stall her out a little bit, man. I had to
But you,
stall her out.
Yeah.
but obviously you had felt the exact same way.
Yeah. You know, the crazy thing is I held on to it my entire high school years, right? And I would see her, I'd see her in passing, and it was always something about this one particular girl who she's always been full of joy. Mm-hmm. Like, and it was a feeling that I always say that only my mom could give me. Like, it make me feel like I can do anything.
Right.
That's what I remembered about
Right.
Tab the entire time. Now, I didn't start living a whole different life. I'm in college and went through high school, playing sports, popular by my own means, right? And nobody could ever make me feel like that besides my mom and this one particular girl. And this was now after a few incidents, I like to say, you know, things that where a lot of people had kind of started looking at me as being problematic, right? So you got somebody who still got no marks on their record, got their whole life ahead of them, right? and she's still admiring your boy. And I'm like, man, this girl still got that little bit of crazy in her that I can't kick. It's crazy for you to call me after 4 years in the middle of the night and say what you said on the phone to me.
Right.
That was crazy, but I was attracted to it.
Right.
I was like, man, this girl weird.
Right.
But I can't kick it. I'm gonna call her. So I called her. I said, hey, and
So when you call her the phone, Tab, Chance, what'd you say?
she had a roommate that didn't speak English. She was in Miami.
Okay.
And I called her, and I just remember the roommate answering the phone, and I'm trying to say her name, like and I'm like, make it like this can't be. I think I got the number wrong. And I could tell when she grabbed the phone, she got on the phone excited.
No, I had been waiting by the
You've been waiting all day.
all day.
But you knew he was gonna call, didn't you?
I did.
So when she got on the phone, I kept it. I tried to keep it G.
You tried to keep it G, didn't you?
Yeah, I tried to. I was like, hey, you called me.
Yeah, he gonna say, "Did you really call me at 4 o'clock in the morning?" I was like, "Yep."
And I ain't want to be jumping out there, so I just let her do the most, most
all
of
the talking, okay.
But in my head, I'm like, I had told my homeboys that in college, I was like, I had one friend who I can always, that one friend.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
tell you. So I'm telling him all the reasons why the whole day. I'm like, man, this girl called me. I'm about trying to live my life, and now she want to come and get your boy back. I'm acting like I'm somebody.
You was.
And he waited. And he waited. My boy Ty, I love him to this day. Man, he said, you scared, fool. Man, you gonna call her,
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna call her. I waited till the end of the day.
End of the day.
And I called her, and I knew I was. You know what I mean? Like, it was just one of those where I was like, I don't want to be this dude. That ego thing.
Right.
Well, I called her. Yeah, I called her. And here we are. 25 years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is marriage everything you thought it would be? You two thought it would be?
It is nothing that we thought it would be.
Is that good or bad?
It's good.
It's good.
Because you guys make it sound so perfect. But there has to be some disagreements at some point.
Oh, it's a whole
bunch
bunch of different. It is.
What about the fairy tale? From Phil Gray to now, all I heard was fairy tale.
Yeah, no. See,
Don't be confused by it.
Okay.
marriage. See, you know what? I didn't come from a house. I didn't come from a family of marriage.
Okay.
Right? I didn't have no understanding of what marriage was.
Right.
Her parents were married, and church going. So I didn't have an understanding of what marriage was. So when you asked that question, I'm like, I had this ridiculous idea, this really just male perspective of what marriage is. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have this. I ain't gotta be out here chasing this because it's at the house.
Right.
That was really in simple what it was. But as we grew together, it became something completely different. It became, that's my best friend. That's that unconditional thing. That's that thing to where even when I'm not ready to hear what she's saying, I got to revisit it, and now it's a possibility that she could be right. This is the one person on this earth
Right.
who, even outside of my mom.
Right.
Now my mom, I'm always right. I'm her baby. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Right.
But this is the one person that has no interest in trying to backdoor me or get one over on me. I got to consider it, and that's invaluable. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's so I started to learn what marriage truly is, and also in the aspect of it's like a Fortune 500 company. You know what I mean? It's that thing to where you say, look, if you don't take pride in anything else, you should be able to take pride in this companion that is building your legacy. Where your kids will be able to. A lot of people don't have. Like, I'm listening to you interview my wife, right? And you asked her the question, what's the one thing that you're most proud of, right? I knew she was gonna say that, right? But what I value out of all of this that I didn't have growing up is that my great-grandkids will be able to go and find something with the Brown family name on it. They'll be able to say, my great-grandmama, she wrote 2 books. My great grandma got nominated for this. My great grandmama is the reason I'm able to go to this nice school. I ain't have none of that. Those things right there is what marriage turned out to be, and more important than what I thought marriage was about was, those male ego-driven dumb things and materialistic things.
From the South like I am.
Yeah.
And in the marriage, when you got home, the meal was on the table. The wife cooked, cleaned, did all those things. And what the man said, I don't know how it was in your house, but what the man said went. It wasn't no, okay, let's think about it, let's talk this through. He said we go into church, we went to church. He said we go in here, we go in there. But I'm looking at you, it really is a 50-50.
Yes. And that's what I treasure that the most. I don't have to carry all that weight.
Right.
So when, you know how you started with me being able to play the back?
Yeah.
I have no issue with that. I have no issue with that because
but a lot of men would. A lot of men would feel emasculated if their wife or their significant other, because she's like, hey, you the police officer.
Yeah.
She said, set that down.
Yep.
I got us, baby.
That was the plan.
And that's because of that little bit of crazy, right? So from the very beginning, I'm not lying to you. I could literally come in the house and tell my wife I wanted to be an astronaut. And the next day she gonna have the paperwork, everything laid. That's the kind of support that I got from my wife.
Right.
I'm gonna order the soup from
I
Amazon.
could say, hey, look, she was that kind of crazy.
Right.
So I got all of that prior to what the world see now.
Right.
See, they don't know that portion of the story,
Right.
how she was there supporting me and making me feel like an alpha male and king. She couldn't treat me like a king for the majority of our relationship.
Wow.
Believing in me when I say, hey, nah.
Even before they knew who Tabitha Brown was. So she was treating you like this before she was, hey, I'm Tabitha Brown.
Absolutely.
God is good. All that.
Yeah.
I just read the other day.
Believing in me. And I need people to understand that. Believing when I say, I got us.
Yeah.
Right? And even when I didn't believe in myself, finding a way to get me back up into my belief system so that I could take care of my family. So she's been playing second so well that I learned from her how to do it. And now I need to be a soldier for her.
Right.
I'm gonna be a soldier for her. So it's easy for me. And especially when it's coming like this, in abundance.
I'm not fit to mess this up.
Yeah, man, come on now. I'm good.
I read Gabrielle Union. She said her and her husband split everything 50-50. And I'm listening to you guys, and marriage is a person-to-person thing. What works in their marriage might not work in this marriage, and it might not work for you guys. So what are your thoughts, Tab? Let me get you first. What are your thoughts on you guys splitting things 50-50?
I don't really know about 50-50 because it's 100-100.
Right.
Right. What's mine is his, and what's his is mine. Like, when we started our relationship, we had one bank account. One.
Right.
We both had a debit card. That was it.
Was there anything in it?
Honey, some overdraft fees. Them overdraft fees used to kill us, honey. But that's when we both was working at the call center together, right? So all our money went together. We balanced it together. We kept a notebook, and we would do bills in the notebook, and we would talk about how much we gonna have in there.
Our real savings, we only had that account because it was starting to be a part of life where you had, but our real savings was in a Nike shoebox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. So it's always been our money together.
Right.
And now we have multiple accounts, but we're both still on them all. So there's no money that he don't know about. There's no money I don't know about. We just in it together.
Wow. So to see Tab, because this is not traditional. This is the different way of doing things. Normally the husband goes off to work. Mm-hmm. The wife stays at home, takes care of the kids. Okay, boom. Now you have a very non-traditional. Mm-hmm. And you, like you said, you're like, I'm cool with it, bro. I'm cool with it.
I'm good.
How do you? Because a lot of times it's the homeboys. Because they always got something to say, man, I can't believe you let your woman take care of you. It's talking all crazy. But because you had known her for so long, and you guys had been together for so long before, it didn't even bother you, did it?
Nope. And that's why. And you just summed it up. It didn't. I only know one other couple like me and my wife that knew each other so long and grew up together. So, and I really kind of keep my circle tight.
Gotta
You
be
know, I
smart
don't
with
really,
that.
I don't really, so I haven't encountered too many people in my immediate circle. Now, I've had quite a few people, especially when I moved here to LA, to kind of tell me that we weren't gonna make it and, you know, all this because it's just impossible. You know, I'm a country boy, you ain't seen the city yet, you don't know what kind of women out here, that type of thing. But when I came out here with a goal, right? And that goal was for us to make something out of nothing, right? So I found I just associated with people who were married, other young people who were married or other people who were married and like-minded. And when it started going left with negative thinking and negative, I kind of put a wedge in there to protect what I got in my household.
Wow. I heard Steve Harvey had, like I said, I had him on. He said a blended family is hard. How was it, you know, your daughter accepting Tab and Tab understanding? Because I think the thing is that you hear a lot of kids, you're not my mom, you're not my dad. Like, I'm gonna tear your tail up like I'm your mom or your dad. You better hush.
Hard. It's hard.
It is definitely hard, but I don't think it's because of the children, right? The adults make things hard, right?
Really?
Absolutely. So for me, I've been Leah's stepmom since she was 2. So she don't know nothing else. Right. Her parents were never together.
Right.
So she never saw that.
Right.
So all she knows is this. And it's always been Tab. I ain't never, like, I was a stepmom before I was a mother.
Wow.
Right. I had that role before I was a mama.
Right.
So, and I always loved it.
Right.
You know, it was always a fun thing for me, and I still do. I mean, she's good and grown now. She about to be 28. So she grown, but yeah.
And it's hard because of just, even too, with us moving and separating ourselves, there's a culture in North Carolina of how you raise kids.
Right, absolutely,
then,
in the South.
Yeah, then there's a difference, and we didn't necessarily bring everything with us on how we wanted to raise our kids to LA.
A lot of it.
But we brought a lot of it, but there are some indifferences, right? So when those two worlds, you know, it's they collide, the adults have a problem with it. You get what I mean? So
We also learned as we were parenting our children that we had together, we were learning that, oh wait, just because this is how it was for us, this don't work for our kids.
Right.
And there was a lot of things I wanted to
You can't discipline your kids like you got disciplined.
Nah.
You going to jail. You going to jail. It's as simple as that. You going to jail.
Right, exactly. Like that ain't working. Okay.
No.
You can't go out there and get no switch off the palm tree, okay? but it was just different. And I think also not being in North Carolina, you know, with my stepdaughter, where she was still living with her mom, and we were here, even that was hard. Right. But we made it, of course, work the best that we could. Because we went a lot of years with no money.
Right. You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and become an official member of Club Shay Shay, where we do something before two something.